Hi, my name is Ashley Seal, and the purpose for this assignment is for us to be able to take a look and analyze all the different dispositions so that we can determine what we do have and what we are lacking, or maybe we don't, so that it will set us up for success in our future of teaching. I believe that the dispositions that I already have, one of which is compassion. I'm always a very compassionate person. I don't know what anybody else is going through when we meet strangers or even people we already know. Sometimes people aren't open, and that's okay, but we don't know what's going on in their lives at home. We don't know what's going on at work. We don't know what's going on with school, so we definitely want to take that into consideration with talking to people, because just because you're having the best day doesn't mean that somebody else's and vice versa. So that I think that's definitely something that's important in the teaching field, is to make sure that you are very compassionate, and not even just compassionate about other people's feelings, but compassionate about what you're teaching. You want to make sure that you are enjoying what you're teaching and loving what you're teaching, and teaching it in a way that you feel will speak to these students. Because if you're not compassionate in what you talk about, they're not going to be either. So I think that's very important. Also, I am very reflective. I have always looked at assignments or anything in life, and if something goes wrong, or maybe it went right, but it's not the exact way that I wanted it to be, I always want to go back and look so that I can fix it in a way that speaks to everybody, or that's perfect for me. You know, you go into a classroom and sometimes your teaching mechanisms or maybe your lectures aren't speaking to the students. So what do? And you see whether it's bad test grades or multiple students coming up to you telling you, hey, I don't understand. You want to go back and look at your lecture, look at your lesson plan, see maybe where you can tweak it a little, or just change a little bit of it so that it speaks to your students better and so that they better understand. So I think that that's very important, and I think that that's something that I'm very qualified to do. I overanalyze a lot, so that's something that reflection is key for me. I think that the disposition that I need to work on would be the respect for diversity in others. And it's not that I don't have a respect for different people, different cultures, I do. But when you're coming into a classroom, you're having, especially in high school, you're seeing hundred students a day, if not more. And you have to remember that not all of these students come from the same background. So I think that going into it with the holidays, or with Mother's Day or Father's Day, some kids don't have mothers, some kids don't have fathers, some kids don't celebrate holidays. So I think that's something that I definitely need to work on. I celebrate all holidays, and I celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day and every holiday that I can. I love them. But I want to make sure that every student feels accepted and doesn't feel left out. So I think that that's something that's very important and that I need to work on. I also think another disposition that I need to work on would just be honesty. And it's not that I'm not being honest with my students, it's that sometimes they may ask questions. I'm a bad liar in general anyways, and I want to be completely transparent with my students. But they're also at a certain age where things are more sensitive or anything, and if something comes up that's maybe not school related, or they need help, like how do I go about that? Like how do I tackle that with different types of students? So I definitely want to make sure that I'm being honest with them, but I'm also being an educator. So that's something that I think that I should work on. I think that educators should bring certain percentage to the table. I think that they should come in and with a great attitude. I think that attitude is definitely important in a teaching position. I think that they should come in with a smile on their face. You need to definitely leave your personal life at home, because you are there. Those students are your responsibility. You are there to teach them. They are confiding in you for an education, and I think that's very important. So I think you should always come into a classroom very poised, very professional, and with a smile on your face, ready to teach. I also think that you should be timely. I understand that people are, everybody lives their own lives outside of school, but when you're running behind on whether it's grading papers or homework assignments or anything, I think that that's something that should be thought about, because the quicker you do this, the quicker your students have time to, again, reflect on maybe questions they got wrong or anything. So I think that's definitely something that a teacher should come in with. Thank you for your time.